Please be sure to understand the risk disclosure and the disclaimer here that futures trading is very high risk, and only you should only use risk capital for that, not just your last bit of savings or anything like that. It's not a get rich quick scheme or anything even closely remotely like that. It's a professional business that takes a lot of adult maturity and patience to be successful at trading. We're going to be talking today about Boomerang Day Trader. And before we get started, I'm assuming that you can all hear me okay. I've got some confirmation now, so that's great. Thank you so much for joining with us today. We got a large group in here today, so I'm going to trade live on the simulator. And the reason for that is the market's closed. If you want to see me trade live, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just click Mohan at Day Trader. Mohan, let's see. Mohan Day Traders Action Live, something like that. It'll come up. You can see me making all kinds of live trades. And we're going to do it here on the simulator. I've backtracked to 419 is a good day. That was last Tuesday. And we're going to pick out some trades there. So I've got this loaded up here on the screen. Let's get it started at 1 speed to start. Now, one of the good advantages of doing this also, not only showing you the Boomerang trade setups live, which is excellent to see, but also the great advantage that it shows you how to back test and trade yourself so you can learn how to do it. You can see the prices moving here now. Over on my other screen, I have this replayer. I'm not going to show you how to set up replay, but when you buy Boomerang, in my introductory letter, it shows you how to set up the replay by clicking one little spot on your platform, and that'll get it recording all the trades or the sessions, and then you can just go back and record them. This bar pushes it forward and back, and right here you see this 1 speed. Now when you're practicing with Boomerang, I highly recommend you just use the 1 speed. If the market's a little bit slow, like I'm going to do today, and you're waiting for a trade setup, you can always speed it up by going to 2 or 3 or 4 until it gets close to a setup, and then immediately stop it again and then start it back at 1 times. If you get more than 2 times replay, it gives you an artificial impression that the markets are moving faster than they are, and that might not be beneficial to you if you're trying to professionally learn to trade. They go at the speed they want to go, and what the recording will show is a 1 speed. Will show you the exact recording of what it did that day. So right now you can see the market opening, and what I usually do when I'm trading is, and I'll just do this with you over the next hour, and then we'll end the session probably, hopefully if I can get through a couple of good trade setups here, we'll end it in the next hour or so. Now here's a trade setup potentially, but right now with the first 15 minutes of market, I usually don't watch for trade setups. What I do is I go in and I mark the opening range. And this is very valuable to have. Once you find that the market gets moving, you can use the opening range as a means to study the bias of the market. You can see where the market bias is based on how prices react to the opening range. So I'm going to use 2 white lines, and on this center line, I do this every day in my live room, so it's something we do every day. And what I'm going to do is, after the first 5 minutes of trading is over, and you can see, what do we got down here? About another 30 seconds, and we will get that. Now I've got this running at, let's run it at 2 speed. If we get close to a setup, I'll be able to stop it, slow it down, or whatever. It's not a big deal. So here's the opening here, approximately right on this candle, 30.57, right on this one here, 30.17, way up here. We'll use this one right here. There's the top, and we just went into the first 5 minutes. You can see my cursor on the bottom, 507. We'll use this as the low. Now what that tells us that the range is on, this is you trading on mini NASDAQ here, one of the best contracts for day trading. 69 quarter, just last 4 digits there, and 56. 56 to 69 shows a very wide range. 56 to 69. 56 13 divided by 2 is approximately 7 points from this level. So right around 70, 62, and you can eyeball it too. I just kind of usually eyeball it just around. There's the center of the opening range. Now the market's immediately showing a kind of bearish bias because you notice how it's rejecting, the prices are rejecting the opening range. That's a fact. They're rejecting the opening range. So we want to kind of watch there for a bearish potential setup. Now you can see the dynamic trend bands are squishing together here. You see that? And they're both matching color. So we're going to be watching to see if we get a pullback up towards the signal line. One of the rules of Boomerang is you watch for the dynamic trend bands to cross over or match color. Now right now they're getting ready for a crossover here. So we're going to be watching to see if we potentially get a move back up to the trade signal line here. We'll see if we get a move back up to the trade signal line to go short. I don't know. It depends. We'll have to see. And again, because we're live trading this on the simulator, I have to speed up the thing. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here all day. We don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. It's just a day I kind of randomly picked here. So let's see what we got here. So it's about 10 minutes into the opening of the market. So who knows? Maybe they'll go down, they'll come back up. So right now, like I said, they're rejecting the top of the bottom of the opening range, and they're making a lower move here. So these are the way the Boomerang setups work. Is we just watch primarily you're watching for a trade channel, then you're asking yourself, what is the condition of the dynamic trend bands? Are they crossing over like right here? Are they within a point and a half of crossing over? In other words, you're going to have on a sell channel, you're going to want to have a bearish colored, that's the magenta colored dynamic trend band number 1, which is this line here. And you're going to want to have dynamic trend band number 2, at least some slight slope to it, ideally. At least absolutely flat like here, or a slight slope, but not pointing up. That could cause a problem for a short trade. In this case, the spread, of course, is completely tight, but way up here on this candle, they were matching colors. You see that? But it was after the trade channel opens, it'll print a pullback signal line up to 6 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one didn't actually hit the signal line, did not print. If it did, it would have printed a dot on that signal line. And so what we're left with is having to just leave this alone. They just have to sell off. As soon as they sold off into the opening range, it was all over. They just got hammered on the downside. So we're just watching now to see if we get some kind of reversal. Now, like I said, we got it going at a little bit higher speed here, so that's pretty important to understand. But that's for the purpose of the webinar. Like I said, otherwise at 2 times speed, that's about right to cut down the time that we need. If I have it at 1 speed, we could be sitting here for hours, and that's not appropriate for a live trading webinar. So I'm just watching to see what kind of action we get here. Are they going to continue to... This tends to look like they can continue to trend down lower. That's what it tends to look like here. I don't know what this chart's going to do, but we'll keep an eye on it here. So far, if they trend down lower, what we would do now is, per the rules, they've made this first run here, we would watch for a possible counter buy arrow if the prices push higher, and the arrow would have to close and print on that candle. and then we'd look for a counter sell arrow to go short. That's called a second level trade. That would be acceptable to take. Otherwise, it may end the downside, reverse back up, or just keep getting hammered lower. I actually don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but we'll just watch for the setups here. And I'll try not to get too distracted with training. See, that's the thing. There's a big difference between uh, teaching and training the boomerang setups. And when you're doing it live, you have to watch the market very carefully. You can't be necessarily teaching all this stuff. A lot of the rooms do that. The problem is they don't trade. They just, the trade that setup ends up happening and then it goes their way and they go, see, there's one there and look at that. Look how it went our way. But they didn't call it or tell you to get into it. And that's just kind of a waste of time, frankly. So now, again, we would need to see prices lift up. You with me? Lift up higher above the dynamic trend band number 2, actually form a buy arrow and then a counter sell arrow in order to get back into that. There is the possibility too that there's various things that can happen. Maybe it runs up completely and resets the whole pattern and then forms another sell pattern or another buy pattern on the upside. So just kind of depends. You get to learn how to read these, but following our rules, you keep the rules in focus. Once you have the rules in focus, then you can you can watch the market, interpret however you want, but don't let it sidetrack you from one of the rules. You're always asking yourself, what's the rule here? What's the exact rule that I'm supposed to be following? The simple method. So again, we're just keeping it right on 2 times speed. So it will move faster than normal, but that's because I don't want to sit here for an hour and maybe nothing even happens. Um, they're kind of getting hammered to the downside. You notice how the Cobra crossed over here, and the Cobra is blinking red and green, so it's trying to make an upside reversal. Maybe they push them back up over the dynamic trend band here, get an attempt to ramp them back up towards the bottom of the opening range, and then possibly getting ready for them to turn back lower here. Now, because we have all the dynamic trend bands matching, oh, there's an arrow starting. See that arrow? Now we watch the ticks down here. If the ticks can close out on this candle and lock in that arrow, then we'll be watching either for a buy trade or another reversal on the downside could happen. See, now I don't have the advantage either of reading the higher time frames. I mean the high 5, which is what I use to read kind of the surface direction of the bias. I have no idea whether the Dow's down 100 points or up 100. You know what I mean? I don't have that. Okay, so the arrow closed here on the buy thing. A dot printed on the signal line, and that's fine. That's what they will do if the arrow locks down, but they're not trade signals until you get the exact set. Okay, now we're getting a more of a downside bias coming in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slow this down to a 1-time speed, because it's possible with this here we could get a second level trade if the market pulls back to the signal line here right around 40. See what I'm saying? So right now we are set up with this arrow printing and locking down. This is one of the 2 authorized type of boomerang trades, which is a second level trade. So we're now watching to see if the market can go back up and hit the signal line for a short trade. If it does, then I'll go up here and hit the sell at the market button. It'll add, oh my God, get those brackets on there, 20 and 16. There it is. Okay, brackets are set. We'll just use one contract because we're just doing a training here. It's no big deal. Let's see if this thing's going to run up to the signal line here and give us a short trade. If it does, you see what I mean? Because I know the setups and you know them if you've studied them. We already know what to look for, and there's the price marker right there. So we want to keep our eyes on the price marker and see if the thing can run up to the trade signal line and hit it. There it is. So we're going to go short right here at the market. There was a little bit of slippage, 37.75, and we got 36.75. So we're going to watch for this market to move down. We're showing 3 points as being 32.75, but technically the actual entry would have been 37.75. So we're going to watch and see if we get a little bit of a stronger downside move. Maybe it's possible. Let's see what happens. Maybe they'll whipsaw against us a little bit. It's always possible. So we're now short technically 37. I mean, I got 36.75 on the live print there, but it should have been around 37.75. That should have been approximately the entry there. So we'll watch 33 as our exit, somewhere around 33. Around 33 to 34. We may have to clip it a little bit early because of the slippage on the move here. 38, 37.75, 30. So we got about a point. So we're going to have to clip it a little bit less. Let's 32, 70, 33. Let's move our entry right here to see if we can get 34. And again, just because we're doing this training, I have to modify it a little. They might dip under 34, and then we'll see that it actually happened. But for right now, we'll just move this to 34, and let's see if they can smoke them down to 34 and knock out this level for us. And that'll represent 4, 5, 6, about a 275 gain here. Let's see if we get them down there to 34, 4 and we're filled on the target. Okay, that's exciting. And there's 350. And they're running 4. They ran on the dip there. They ran them down to 3.25. So technically at 6.75, I could have left them alone. We would have got 3 points, but just for the training purpose, because there was slippage. Now also, when you own Boomerang, or if you own Boomerang and you're trading with it, I want you to watch the price marker and the trade signal line marker, which is this red line here. The other one's red here. That's the Cobra too. You can always change the color by changing the color of the Cobra. I've got the default red and green, but you can change it to more of a crimson and a lime green, and it'll change the color of that price marker. Do you see what I'm saying? So that was a good example there. And I only modified the price because I was yakking while we were getting that on there. If I was paying strict attention, I would have seen the price marker merge up right into the signal line, which was right around 37.75, and I could have nailed it right there. You see, see this price, see how it's merging into the signal line. Let's see right there, see how it merges, boom, right there. That's where you hit them. That's the best way. I'm not saying that was a trade. I'm just showing the example of the merging of the price with the trade signal line. That's the way to trade Boomerang. Not sit here and look at the dots. You can sit here and look at the line, but the best way is to watch the merging of the price markers. Okay, so glad we got that one. So we made what's normally $60 per contract on one trade, 3 points, $20. It's $60. So we made $5 less because of that little adjustment I made. No big deal. So now let's see if we get another trade here. How are we doing? We got some good time under our hands here. Like I said, this webinar won't last much more than an hour today. I'll keep these type of webinars a little bit shorter. The other ones, usually what I do is go over all the setups. We'll spend a lot of time because there's not the pressure of getting the trades right, so I can just go in there and talk freely and show you the setups and more or less on the still charts, detail the setups and how they work. Some traders say, "Oh, but that's different from live." I go, not at all. It's not at all different. If you have a system that's completely mechanical and it's based on price and it's based on very strict rules like ours, which is Cobra, crossing, color, match, or 1.50 spread, all these rules, simple rules, and pull back the sig line, etc., etc. This was a classic second level trade. It doesn't matter if you use live charts or still charts. The rules are the rules are the rules. Yeah, if you're a weak trader or inexperienced, all the price movements may throw you off and get you all spinning, get your head spinning, but that has nothing to do with the rules. The rules are still there, like the one you saw me just follow. It had nothing to do with that. And had I been paying real strict attention, completely quiet, and just paying attention to the merging of the price markers, I would have got a higher price rather than that 675. But you can see here I got short at 675, 36.75, and then we covered them up at 34 because I moved the exit there because I got concerned that they might not quite give us 3 points because of that slippage. So I just modified a little bit, just for our training purposes. Anyway, let's see if we get another trade set up going here. Market's moving pretty peppily, so I'll keep it for now on the 1 time speed. And we're going to look for a possible buy here because you can see now the DTBs have definitely spread within a point and a half. They're getting ready to try to cross over, it appears. However, we got a very steep dynamic trend band line here, so a little bit of caution on the bullish side. But if those darn DTBs start crossing over in the next 5-10 minutes, which they're starting to cross now, if they can maybe push the prices slightly lower and then neutralize the price, we can get that Cobra turning green. What you'll see is the dynamic trend band number 2 will probably flatten out a little bit. I don't know. They could get slammed to the downside again, just like today's action into the close. I've been calling for 2 days for a hard slam to the downside in the market. We sure got that today, man. Down 210, down 230 something on the heaviest point on the Dow, and it's long overdue. I mean, these riggers have just been pushing this market up so much. In my 26 years of trading, this deal we're in now has been the most upside rigged, stuck up market that I've ever seen. 26 years of trading. So rigged, so fake, and they're not even ashamed anymore of rigging it up because they're out of solutions on what to do with the market. So they go, these people know we're rigging it, hell with it, Anyway, let me pay attention to the market here. I'll narrate about the market, but I wanted to let you know that they finally broke them down today. Probably get a gap down tomorrow, possible big gap down tomorrow. I hope so. We're holding puts in my live trading when we've added option, stock, and ETF trading. It's been there for about 3 months, but I just added the put service, and we're up about 60% as of today's slam on the put position. All of my stock and ETF positions have been winning trades, and I'll put out a promo, go over some of those. We're long the biotech industry now. Been long gold since 1,080. It's currently rallying today, $18 today, 1269. All kinds of stuff. Too much to explain. I got to concentrate on the markets here. So, we're just trading at 1 time speed. We've got a rock solid crossover here, but the Cobra is blinking red and green. It's kind of a warning sign not to get all excited about being bullish just yet. This is not quite a buy signal here just yet. And the reason is because although we have the crossover, you have to consider this steep dynamic trend. We need that to flatten out a little bit. They might try to pull back a little bit more, so we got to be a little careful here. And you notice how the red candle, okay, we got a spike candle here. We're just now getting a buy channel. You see that? So there was no buy channel in here. You see that? You got to learn the rules. They're very simple, but don't let all these prices flying around trip your mind out. We're waiting for, first you got to get a buy channel, right? Which is what we're getting now. And then after that, you look for the market to, um, you want to see that Cobra rock solid there. Technically, this pullback here just occurred at 38, but it's a little bit shaky because of the red candles here. You see what I mean? This is not a real solid upturning market just yet. It's a little bit shaky still, so I'm just kind of waiting on it because of this steep DTB here. Ah, look at that. Aren't you glad you didn't get long, you see? You can't be too anxious at the end of a large scale move, for God's sakes. That's one of our rules. Look at that big large scale move. Don't be so anxious to jump in on the buy side immediately. Wait with this steep dynamic trend band. Let them cross over, but wait a little bit and let them see what happens. That's why I wasn't so anxious to get long here. We had a flat, almost leaning lower Cobra. Notice the trade signal line was even crossing under the Cobra, and we had red candles. So, I mean, technically you could have bought this 38, which ramped up to 41, but it wasn't quite the right setup. It was just kind of a whipsaw, and now look what they're doing. They whipsawed it up, whipsawed it down. So we're going to have to wait a couple more minutes or so to see what comes out of this. I am keeping the speed at 1 because the prices are moving very quickly. If I put it on 2 now, they'll be flying all over the place, and it's not a good way to practice trading the boomerang setups. The better way to do it is if it's slow and you're not even close to a setup, then put it on 2 to 3 to 4 times speed and wait till a setup appears to start, then stop it and put it back on 1 time speed and wait a little longer. And that's the way you can practice. It's kind of dumb to sit there on 1 time speed if the market's going nowhere and the volume's really low. You see what I'm saying? But dumber to keep it on at 4 times speed and be trading the setups. It doesn't make any sense. Just have to do it right here. So anyway, I'm watching. Right now we're in the middle of whipsaw. Big downside move. We caught this final second level trade here. They're crossing over with a steep dynamic trend band after a big move. I would say about 70% of the time, maybe even 80 or 75, you can expect whipsaw at the end of a big move. It's not usually going to go right into a reversal buy type setup. That's pretty rare. Pretty rare. Usually, instead, what you're going to see is the whipsaw is going to play its game for a while. You should see, if there is a crossover, normally that you're going to see a resolution on the upside, you see. But right now, they're temporarily, the DTBs are blinking the same color, but that's not a good sell trade either. Better to just wait and let this thing kind of settle itself out. Most of the time, with the crossover, the resolution is going to be on the upside. You want to lean on that side. In other words, a next buy type trade that really pans out. Okay, they're kind of spiking them up here, which actually should be good for the trade. Let's see what we got here. They're spiking them out. Okay, now notice this. A slightly curved up Cobra. Matching dynamic trend band. So now that tells me a pullback the sig line down here is going to be a good deal for us. See what I'm saying? Now it's looking good because a pullback down here to the sig line, which happens right now to be just under the orange line in the sand. Boy, they're kind of taking off here, aren't they? Whatever. Okay, well, let's see if we can get a pullback to the signal line, which is currently right here at around 738. Now everything's matching up. See, this is now where they're probably going to try to resolve themselves to the upside. I'll get back to your questions later. I can't pay any attention to those now. I'm trying to do a good demo for you here. So we're watching now for a pullback signal line, which currently right around 39.25. We're watching the price marker here at 39.35. You see that? 39.35, 39.30. It's going to fluctuate as the market moves. I'm only running it regular. So this is an exact recording of the market on that day. Now I'm watching to see if indeed somewhere in here we get a pullback to 39 quarter, 39.50. Okay, and we're going to buy. It's all set up crystal clear for a buy. You see everything's there for a buy. So let's see if we can get that thing to pull back a little bit here. Knock them down around 39, somewhere down in there. We've got to see if we can get them down right under 40 there. Right around, right there. We'll go long at the market. Boom. Right when I hit them, because I saw them dip under there at the signal line, they printed them on the signal line here at 38.75. And we're long at 39. It looks, yeah, 39, 39 half. And we're looking for a jump up to the pullback level is 39, 40, 41, 42. So we're going to see if this thing can take off on the upside here, run them up, and again, a little bit of slippage. 39, I've got 39 half, plus 3 would be 42 half. 39 half long, 42 half exit. You see, so I just grab that, click it, and pull it down. It takes 10 seconds. We're watching for a jump up to 42 half to fulfill this 3-point trade on our entry there at 39 half with a little bit of slippage. Let's see if we can crank them up here to 2.5. We got 175 going, 175. Let's jump them a little bit higher here, 175. All right, hang in there. Everything's bullish. Everything looks fine for a gradual climb higher. Let's see if we can get this price to ramp up here up to 42.50 is our target goal. So we'll just sit in this thing for a minute and see if we can crank them up. Like I said, you've got everything in favor of a higher move, so it's just a matter of waiting for it here. 150, 150. Let's get them going here. 1/4. Keep them cranking. Little upside pressure here. Get them to run up and tap that Bollinger Band and pop through the Bollinger Band. 175, 2 even, 2 even. 2 even, 2 even, 2/4. Yeah, we're almost there. 2/4, and let's see if we can, and we popped out 250 there, and the target got filled. You heard the little electronic lady fill it there, and you see 275 on the high for the trade through, and now they're punching them up a little bit higher. Okay, so we're waiting now for the next trade setup. How much time do I got left? Yeah, we could go about another 10-15 minutes. I can always speed this thing up if I have to. You don't know. I mean, we could be an hour away from the next trade or whatever. So I'll speed it up and we'll try to hone in on. In the meantime, uh, got a question. Is there any documentation that outlines what the rules are? Well, yeah, I have unlimited webinars, and on the I'll take a minute and do this while we're waiting for the next setup here. You mean documentation like writing? Yeah, well, we have that stuff, but they're so simple you don't really You just write them down. I say them and then you write them down. There's your writing. You don't, that's the best thing to do. You listen to what I say and follow the rule. Well, here, I'll just show you exactly what to do. It's just follow this tape and write it down. I mean, it's so simple. You see me doing it here. It's just the same old rules. They've been the same for years. Well, since Ultra Boomerang, about a year. I released Ultra Boomerang about a year ago. We have 90% guaranteed winning trade setups. You've seen it already. We've had 2 out of 2. That's 100%. So let's go over to the Boomerang blog. Okay, let me squish this so I can keep an eye on this market here. Usually after a trade, it's going to take a while. Go over to resources on the Boomerang blog. Scroll down to, well, there's 2 things you can watch here. The 2 Boomerang Day Trader setups for any trade. It's just about a 10-15 minute, very short video. And then read the bunker boomerang trades. I introduced this idea in January when things were so insanely volatile. People were like scared because it was moving so fast. And you remember that? Up 300, down 200, up 200, down 400, 350. The market was insane. So I said use the boomerang method and that bunker method. And all that is you just wait for trades that have matching dynamic trend bands, which is described here. But it's the idea with the bunker trades is, whoa, it's so fast and heavy. You're just waiting for trades that have the dynamic trend bands matching. So watch those videos and write down the rules. But they're the same old thing. Dynamic trend bands within a point and a half of each other, or a crossover, or matching colors. That's it. If they match colors, they're a point and a half and have crossover, and you get a buy channel or a sell channel in the direction of the crossover. This is dynamic trend band 1. This is number 2. Here they are. Now here it's whipsaw after a strong downside move, so you just wait for the colors to match. Here's the colors matching. There's where we bought them. Remember that? And they ramped them up. And I don't care if they keep going. That doesn't matter to me at all. We have one trader, in fact, he's newly added to our endorsements. They're not formal endorsements. He sent me an email. To me, that's an endorsement. When you send me an email like this, it's an endorsement. I commute to my desk is 15 seconds. I trade 10 NASDAQ contracts. I target 2 trades a day for 4 NQ points. I'm already done for the day. I try to tell others about this. Only one person saw the light and signed up. Once they see that I'm making $400K a year, quote, working a few hours in the morning, maybe they'll come around. I can't thank you enough. You see what I'm saying? That came in 414 just a couple weeks ago. So this is what I'm trying to say is it's so simple. It's not complex, but you got to learn a couple simple things. People complicate it because they're used to losing and they buy boomerangs, so they're projecting all their years or whatever of loss and problems onto boomerang, and it's really not. You have to become very simple when you buy boomerang and learn how to trade with it, as you just see me do here. I should have did I show you that? Sorry if I didn't. Hold on a second. My mistake. I was very happily looking at it, but I forgot to drag it over in the screen, what I just read to you. This is my updated. If somebody emails me, I just copy and paste email, but on the blog, it's all going to come out the same font. That's the one I just read. My commute's 15 seconds. I trade 10 NASDAQ contracts, put on 2 trades a day for 4 NQ points, and I make 400 a year. 400K a year, and I try to tell others, but I've run into this obviously talking to so many traders. They start trying to pin the problem and the doubt on the system, on Boomerang, but the problem is in them. It's not on Boomerang. Boomerang is 90% guaranteed winning trades, and no one's challenged me on that. It does make 90% winning trade signals. People who try to find something wrong with it, they're struggling because they're afraid to trade, or they don't have the guts, or they're not cut out for trading. Whatever it is, I mean, that's okay. We'll help you with that. We have tools and ways of helping you with that, but don't blame the software. The software works. Do you work? It's getting you to work. It's getting you to become a real trader and face that music of how to trade. Um, let me speed this up a little because they're just kind of hanging up here. Let's see if we can squish one more trade in the next 20 minutes or so. I'll run over your questions, and because I start getting into your questions, I may forget about this darn market here. That's why I do them separately. I just use the still charts. It's easier to teach the method and everything using the live still charts, and then when the trades go live, you just practice at home. You buy Boomerang, follow what I show in the webinars, and just practice at home. So let me see quickly what's come in. I'll keep an eye on this while I'm looking. Everything is good. Audio is good. When you start measuring the fat channel, it started the arrow firing when the channel opens up. Good question. It's not with the arrow. It has nothing to do with the arrow. The fat channel's just, well, in a sense it is. A fat channel is a fat channel. This one's starting to get a little pudgy here, but it's mostly you're avoiding those off the opening, and they will often start like even up here before the arrow. It's based on, in this case, a red spike candle coming down, but because it was a second level trade, those are so reliable, and when you have the dynamic trend bands matching with this thing, all these are sellers piling on, so I felt good taking this short here. But you notice when I had that slippage at the end here, I was real quick to move that up a little bit. I was willing to say we got to be a little careful because it looks like we're at the end of a move here. That's just common sense in my view. So we're going at 2 times speed, but that's a fat channel is measured when you start seeing spike candles, and that formed one here. But again, I just told you the reasons why I like to use that anyway. That took that trade. Excuse me. Been working in my room today. Even though we hit our goal early, I noticed I was having a little throat stuff early in the room, and we were done within an hour and 15 minutes of trading today. Hit our target goal, 9 NASDAQ points. We got a lot of 10 contract traders and some of there, so they're quite happy. You know, they make a couple $1,000, and we do it just about every day. Excuse me. So there's no. Someone's asked about an auto trade. Randy, there's no auto trade feature in Boomerang. Don't trust any auto trade systems. They don't work. There's no way an auto trade system is going to survive whipsaw like this. Maybe it'll catch a downside move, and then it'll get stopped out 3 or 4 times on the whipsaw. I wouldn't have any faith in auto trade system. You still got to sit there and watch them anyway, that they don't destroy your account, which many of them do. Greetings, William. He's asking a question about don't know what auto trade. I have auto trade of my signals in my live trading room, but that's not Boomerang. That's a completely different. I have 2 services, just like there's a big giant company called Toyota Motors, and they also produce Lexus. Lexus is like another separate company within Toyota, and it's a very similar looking car, and some of the newer Toyotas look just like the fancy Lexuses, but they're missing certain components that are in there. Similarly, Boomerang Day Trader is my rock solid Toyota, if you will, of trading systems, the only one in the history of the stock market that guarantees 90% winning trades. I'm demonstrating that for you today here. And it's only $1,195. Very, very low cost. I could charge easily 5 times that and get it, but I don't because I like to keep the prices low for the traders. We're very well known in the industry, been around 16 years. 16 years in the industry. Hello, my 16th year. Very few guys out there offering systems have been around that long. What to speak maintaining a golden reputation like I have. I have a very good rep. Most of the big names, if you really dig into it and find out, they've all gotten slammed with fraud accusations, so many things, a lot of them which are true, I hate to say. It's a very tough business, and a lot of people don't want to get a job. They want to put a fancy indicator package together, try to sell it to you without personally trading it for 5 years in a row like I did before offering it to the public. They can't wait. Their rent's due now on their apartments, so they got to get it right out to you and tell you how great it is. So anyway, aside from that, another question Williams asked: do you have an 800 number? We don't. I do everything myself. It's all done through email. We don't have any salespeople or anything that'll try to sell you Boomerang. I offer Boomerang on the website on boomerangtrader.com. And on boomerangtrader.com, you can watch my webinars like what I'm doing here. This one's going to be recorded. And you look over that stuff. You want to buy Boomerang, there's a link there. You click, you buy it. I send you the downloads, and you'll see everything exactly like you're seeing on this. Now, what I'm doing today on the live simulation thing, this is like a new feature of our Boomerang trading class. I'll try to do one every like 3 of the regular ones, something like that. Maybe like one every 2 months. We do them twice a month, and they're all recorded on there, most of them. And about every 6 weeks or so, I do what's called an audit. And there's a recent audit on there where I go over in very strict detail all the exact setups that occurred over a 2-week period. The last one was very recently, and it showed 98% winning trade setups. And again, someone say, well, that's not live trading. It doesn't matter. This is a mechanical system. When it hits that signal line, the dot prints there, and you can see from the next candle if it hit a 5-point stop or not. It might hit a 5-point stop, but whether it's live or on still charts, it'll show up in the chart. There's no way to fool it or run and hide and play games with it. I wouldn't do that anyway. But I'm just saying, so this is a new feature, doing these simulated trades. I'm going to have to speed this up a little if you don't mind. I'm going to go 4 times speed because I'm just trying to see we get a setup coming in here. I'll stop it and then I'll restart it. But there's no phone number to call or anything. There's no auto trade is available. Back to my Toyota Lexus thing. I have a day trading room where I give you trades on mini NASDAQ like we're doing here. Sometimes they're Boomerang setups, but I have 3 other setups that I use, developed over 26 years of trading. And our goal is to get out of the room as quickly as possible. And I go in there and put on usually anywhere from 5 to 15 trades. We try to achieve that 8 to 15 point NAS goal, and we usually hit it almost every day. Along with that, I give recommendations in stocks, ETFs, and now brand new, a directional option trades. Now we put on puts, and the last call I gave was to buy them at $2. Or the where is the thing here? It's the sorry, my brain's freezing here. The 207 May 16th puts. And our current position there, the last recommendation is at $2. The market got roasted today on the downside, as you know, into the close, which I called for since we put that on. And currently those puts are trading at around $2.60. They're running out of time because of this stuck-up market. But if we get a gap down tomorrow and a blast tomorrow on the downside again, I might close those out for about $4 for 100% gain. And we'll be doing those. And like I said, all my stock picks are profitable. We dumped Apple the day before yesterday. I said dump this Apple. It was yesterday. We bought them at 95 on that big dip back in January. They ramped them up to 112. I was looking for 120 or higher to let them go. They pushed them up to 112, 113, I think. Didn't jam them any further. And yesterday when they crashed from that earnings, I told everybody live, I said dump Apple here is around $98. dumped them for a small profit, and then Carl Icahn came out today and said, I'm dumping Apple. Big sad news for Apple, but so Carl dumped them today. And don't mind the speed, it's 4 times speed, so it's going a little faster. I'm looking for another trade setup here. But I don't want to go over all the setups again. I'll send out a promotional piece pretty soon, a regular update on all those things. But that's what we do in the room. It's the same price regular room, $249 a month, but we have practically every day you get a $500 to $1,000 paycheck, which pays for 10 times months of the room in one day. Hello. And depending how many contracts you have in, obviously. If not, usually it's 2 to 3 time months in one day. And people still ask me for free stuff. It kind of pisses me off. It's like, free, free, free. What kind of crap is that? I'm working so hard to do all this stuff, and you want everything free. You pay me something, and you'll get 10 times your money back. How's that? No trade set up here. The Cobra's trying to cross the steep DTB. But the point is, William, is we have auto trade available for my signals. We have a broker that comes in the room every day and does live exact duplication of the trade signals that I do in accounts for traders. You can get that service if you want. Just email me at mohan@daytradersaction. I'll be glad to explain more about it. Okay, we're getting whipsawed here right now, and we're going at high speed, so the whipsaw seems faster than it is. Don't worry about it. We're just waiting to see if we can get another setup going here. Looks like we're a ways away from. They're trying to squish together. What do we got here? 775. The DTBs are within point and a half there. We're getting a lot of whipsaw here. So I don't know that they're just ready to blow yet here. Okay, now they're getting hammered on the downside. So right now, with this kind of strong spike, that the question earlier about the fat channel, it's getting formed now. The fat channel is formed all based on, let me slow this down for a second here. It's all based on spike candles. You see if I measure this top of this one here, 47 quarter to down here, 42 quarter. That's a 5-point spike candle. That's massive. 3 or more is big. And look at this one, 44 down to 40. 5-point candle, 2 of those will form a fat channel, and you can see it forming now. Then we got a third one. So there's a fat channel, no trade there, and notice how the buy arrow came in way over here. That's just because of the whipsaw. So there was no printout of any dots in the signal line here because of the whipsaw, and they're whipsawing them more here now. Congratulations, market. You're whipsawing everybody's brains out. That's good. Good job. Anyway, so we're just watching to see if we get the next setup going at some point here. Now, normally we have what's called a modified trade rule, but it would be discounted here because of the strong whipsaw. So we're just ignoring that for now. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, just ignore that because it's too much whipsaw. You have to use common sense and say, yikes. Boomerang tells you red candle, off candle, green candle, hollow, whipsaw. Everything's whipsawing. It's called stand aside. So what we use, the ATM is a 3-point gain and a 5-point stop. It's been that way for many years. And as you get really experienced at Boomerang, you can use 3 points. Yeah, I adjust these. Yeah, you're right. It shows 14, but that's, what is it, 12, 20. There it is. I was adjusting it anyway, but 3 points is the target goal. Thanks for reminding me there, Charlie. Is there a course for trading options? No, I'm not an options course trainer. I have a system that I've used for many years that works very effectively, and I just decided about 2 weeks ago to start using it in my daily directional or my Day Traders Action Room. It's a free gift. It's part of the room. The NASDAQ trades, which is the bread and butter, gives us a paycheck just about every day. Pays for the service, monthly service 10 times over usually or more. And the option directional trading and the stock picks, which are all profitable, as I mentioned. Every single one we've done has been profitable, and the ETFs um, is a gift because I'm running a private hedge fund, me and my partner, who I keep on instant message, and I can run my room, and he and I discuss changes at night and what we're going to do, and if it opens this way, that he knows what to do, and I tell him, and then I instant message him during the day. Dump Apple. He and I had already dumped it, but then I told the room like 3 minutes later, I said, dump an Apple here, and we bought them at under 95, looking for 125 bucks, no cigar. 120, 125, no cigar. They stopped at 113. I think that was the high, close to the high, and then that was it. Big crash, and then Carl, like I said to dump them yesterday, and Carl came out today, and Carl Icahn came out today and said to dump them, so I did. Here's Apple here, big mess. Here's the dump where we got out at 98, right around here. They dropped more, and then here's Carl. this is this is uh, get used to him. He's going to be already an advisor to Donald Trump, the next president. So get used to his name, Carl Icahn. That's called a world class presidency and making America great again. Get someone like Carl Icahn in there negotiating some of these horrifying deals that we're in. That's going to be an exciting setup there. Get rid of all these stodgy old, strange, a lot of them strange, like Hassert, the child molester, strange politicians who don't get anything done. They just collect paychecks and do sweetheart deals. But here's Apple. We're out. We're done. See you later. Don't even care about it now. All I cared about was going to 120. Oh, I should have popped it. The reason, sorry about that. Hold on a second. We talk about a lot of things in the Day Traders Action Room. Uh, we look to, make deals, get in the right deals and make money. Okay, 112.30. You can see that's the high coming in there. 112.30. That's what I said. 112. It couldn't get them going. I was hoping they could, but no big deal. Just another stock. It wasn't even that big of a gain we were looking for. About a 30% gain. What is the distance? The fat channel, there's no distance. It's just turn your head to the left, and what do you see there? That's not a fat channel. That's a pregnant channel. No, that's a fat channel. This is one up here. These long extended spikes are going to create a fat channel. So if they start them off right when you're watching for a new trade channel, you don't want to trade at the top or bottom of a fat channel because they're mostly going to reverse. And I've had some tricky fellows try to develop reversal systems off that. That's okay. Guess who does that? Yep, that's right, Mohan. Part of the Day Traders Action live trading. We do stuff like that all the time. I call them crunches, and we will crunch the market. If I get the right setup, usually fat channel comes in and crunch. Okay, we got to slow them down here. What do we got here? Hold on, I think we're getting close to something here. Because look, it's kind of like that, same as that other trade. The dynamic trend bands are now matching. So we're going to trade a pullback to the signal line right here, right around 44.5. We're getting close here. Hold on here. I just slowed the thing down. Watching the far right side of the chart here. That's where you want to watch them. And 44 quarter approximately is where we're going to sell them if we can get them up there. We got to get them up there. We're getting some spiky candles, and we got all the DTBs matching in a new sell channel. If they get them back up there somehow to 44 or higher, we got to hit them. We got to hit them. Let's see if we can nail them any time here. Let's see if we can get them back up there. I don't know. 44, 42, 42. Watching 43.75 right in here. Let's see if we jump them up there a little bit higher. Watch for that price marker to merge into that 43.65 area, and then I'm going to hit them. Let's see if we jump them up there. 43.75, 43.50 or higher, merging into that price marker. See if we can get a little bit of a jump, and I'm taking the trade. It's a correct setup. A little bit riskier setup because all these spikes, and hopefully they won't just drop like a stone here. They might, and then it's over. But so far, if they can bring it back up here and nail that 43.50, you see the red price marker there on the far right? 43.45, 43.40. See it blinking around there? We still want to take that short up there because notice Cobra, how Cobra is tight on the dynamic trend band number 1 there. And with all these spikes, they could jump them up. I don't know. Let's see if we can jump them up. 43 half. Let's see if they can jump them up over 43 half, 44 area, somewhere up there. I'm on 1 time speed now, so we're going pretty slow. And I might have to speed it up just so we can end the webinar. I don't want to trade too much here. I could do an entire session, but the webinar would last all day. That's kind of boring. Of course, except for my funny commentary here. Okay, watching 43 half or higher to go short with the price marker. This 42, you see that 42 blinking merging into 43.50 or higher. Watch for those things to maybe merge together if we're going to get a short here. Let's see if we get them. Like I said, and if they just fall down off the wagon, then the deal's over and we'll probably just end the session here. They're still hanging up here a little. It's still worth it if we get another pop because this is like a continuation downside move here. Give it one more chance here to try to pop up towards 43 or higher. This is like running my room here. That's what I feel like. I'm running my trading room. Go ahead and join us, you know. You can come in for 2 weeks for $29 and hang out, and you'll love it. Frankly, though, don't join unless you want to stay with us for a few months, because it's just coming in and hanging out. I don't know. It's kind of a lot of administration for me to fool around with. If you want to trade and hang out for a few months and make, $5,000-$10,000 a month, then join the room. Don't just come in and ignore the trades and not do anything and just watch. That's a waste of time. It looks like we might have missed the trade here. Maybe, just maybe, they'll jump them up a little higher, but I think it looks like we missed a trade right here at 44. That's the impression I'm getting, that somehow we just barely missed getting a pullback signal line. You always want to get as close as possible, within 3 to 4 candles, max 4, to this sell channel here. So it's now they're just falling off the wagon. So I'm going to go ahead and end the session here. We had the 2 winning trades. This maybe would have printed if it was just a tick higher at the time, but somehow it didn't. I don't go to the market. I would have liked, I didn't see the price bars merge, so I just kind of let it go. So for now, because I got to end this webinar here, we had 2 winning trades. That's great. $115 per contract. So for a blue collar working trader, you got 4 contracts times $4, so that's $32 commish. So you got $115 times 4, $460 minus 32. So on that, these 2 trades were up $428 on a small 4 contract account. So not bad for, and this I had to speed up. That was all within just a couple hours of trading. So a good deal there. Definitely a good deal. So I'll end the session here, our training session here. I wanted to make sure and do these every now and then with the live boomerang trades so you can see how things work. And we can answer some questions, and then we'll go ahead and end the section in another 5-10 minutes here. No, Boomerang, does Boomerang work only on NASDAQ? No. My God, works on any active stock, ETF, or futures contract. Hey, if you got active enough New Zealand bonds, it'll work beautiful. It'll track them out. We got a lot of people trading over on the Nifty in India. Tons of Indian people because they see my name and they kind of identify with it. And I've been to India many times, 19 times. I love that country. Roaming out in the jungles. Oh man, nothing like walking down a path and seeing a big cobra with its hood up. That's an exciting adventure, you know. A little too exciting. That was my younger years, right? A little bit older now. I'm not such as much a risk taker. Oh no, not at all. I just trade the Nasdaq futures every day, right? It'll work on any contract. Got a lot of nifty traders. Their exchange order is called Nifty. India is a kind of a cute country in a sense, you know, with the cows walking down the street and the cars going by and they go around the cows, you know, don't want to run over the sacred cows and the dogs barking and then you give it a little food and it shuts up and it's a very cute, I call it cute, and that's why they call their stock exchange the Nifty because it's nifty, right? To trade. Trading is a nifty thing, that's right. A little behind the times term, but it works. Um, why did you take that trade at 7:43? Um, let's see. I'll quickly do that. 7:43. Oh, this one? That wasn't a boomerang trade because you don't have the crossover, the dynamic trend band. It's so simple. There's no trade unless you have the dynamic trend bands crossing over within a point and a half or less. Watch that video I showed you on the simple boomerang setups. Go over to Boomerang Trader, Boomerang Trader under Resources. Click on the Resource section. Scroll down to the two Boomerang day trader setups for ending trades. That's all there is. And then read the bunker trades, which will help you understand other things that you do when the market gets really volatile. But it's the same as this one, except we're just waiting for the dynamic trend bands to match color as an extra precaution. So you can learn all about the answer to your question there. If you knew those rules, then you'd see this is not a trade because we have to have the crossover of the dynamic trend band. And indeed, that's why I was looking for a trade over here on this last setup, and they just barely missed printing on the signal line. And it shows that it would have here, but if it did, there would have been a yellow dot there. And it just means it missed it by a smidgen. It's very extremely accurate. So this was a crossover, a reversal, and then a failure with a new sell cross. These are very reliable trades, and we just barely missed that 44, taking them down for another 3 points here. But I didn't get the signal, so we didn't take it. This one, though, is not a trade, sir, because you don't have the matching color in the dynamic trend bands. First of all, you don't have a crossover, and you don't even have the sell channels occurring way over here. There's all kinds of whipsaw. The other thing is, with all this whipsaw occurring, it's a big caution. You don't want to take a trade when there's all this whipsaw going. You want to wait for the dynamic trend bands to match color. That's all you're waiting for. So then you had the reversal. So technically this was a second level boomerang trade, which is described here in this simple report. This is only a 10-minute video. The two boomerang day trading setups for ending trades. One is a crossover with the real smooth. We had one earlier that I did live here. Real smooth whipsaw after a big move. Crossover. In this case, the dynamic trend bands were matching. In the previous one, it was just, well, actually, this one had already got smoked on the downside. So this was a second level trade. So there's second level trades and there's first level trades. A first level trade would have occurred if this happened after the market opened, right? And these spread, well, these were matching color, and say this came up here like it did here to the signal line, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only one more candle sooner, this would have printed on the signal line and would have given us a short. That's a classic first level trade. Let me see if I can find another one. Using the still chart here, I'll look for a classic. Oh, no. See now here, the channel's there, the pullback's there, but the spread has to be a point and a half or less, or matching color, or having crossed over. That's all. Real simple. Okay, here's a classic one here. The dynamic trend bands cross over, so that's a downside move we're looking for. Here's a sell channel. They've already crossed over, so you're not waiting for a crossover. The crossover has already occurred, so all you got to do here when you get the sell channel is wait for the next pullback signal line, which occurred right here, 56. 56 jumped 58 quarter and then got hammered. So small, little bit of pressure against the entry, no big deal. We use a 5-point stop, so that contains most of the noise. And with 90% winning trades, who cares about the stop? Let it get hit. You got 10 trades, right? And 9 of them pan out and 1 gets stopped out. Big deal. Well, it's actually higher than that. The last audit I did, which I can show you right here, if you want Boomerang, if you want to make 90% winning trades, that's up to you. You have to decide if you want to make, like that one recent email I got, you want to make 400 grand a year, buy Boomerang, follow the rules, and get yourself up to 10 contracts, and you'll make that and more. The audit. I put those under the 90% winning trade signals. Here's an audit from 224 to 39, just a month or a month and a half ago. And you can watch here, and you can watch the video where I actually conduct the audit in front of a large audience of Boomerang traders who know what Boomerang rules are. They know them very well. It gave us a total over that 2-week period. There were 61 trade setups with only 1 trade getting stopped out. So you got 62 trade setups. One gets. Why squabble about 5-point stop? See, the ones who squabble about the 5-point stop who don't own Boomerang already, they're so used to losing that it freaks them out. Oh, 5-point stop and only a 3-point gain, because they're going off their past negative psychology in trading, where they're always losing and getting stopped out. But it's like they don't hear me. I have to repeat it 10 times. 90% guaranteed, underline about 10 times, winning trades. We don't guarantee your skill. No one can do that. It's like when you buy a car, no one guarantees your skill to drive that car. They guarantee the auto will work and they'll repair it if anything goes wrong, but they can't guarantee you won't crash it into a wall. You have to know how to trade and how to follow these rules. It's not guaranteed just winging trades. You have to come in and discipline yourself and learn how to trade. 61 trade setups, one of them only 90% winning trades, got stopped out. It's 175 NQ points for 3,500 per contract, 61 trades, about 244 in commish. Net gain, $3,200 for a blue-collar working trader, which I always measure because that's a small account with 4 contracts, which you should all be working up to. 13 grand after commish in just a less than 2-week period. Watch this video and you'll understand how Boomerang works in that sense. So I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar here. Let me just check real quickly if there's any other questions. I tend to answer them very thoroughly. Point and a half on the crossover is only based on a trade that's setting up for a crossover. Like here, you're watching it here, and here's the new buy channel. And you go, okay, spread here. You can see it's 850 and 5, or 850 and 0. There's an 8-point spread here. And right here, like this pullback here, let's see what the spread is there. 7 and 3. It's too wide, so there's no trade here. And then once they go off, you miss that. Didn't happen. That was on Globex anyway, but just as an example. So when we're looking for these crossovers, we're looking for that's just one of the conditions. Let's see if we can find another one. Oh, here's a classic one. This was before the market close. Here's the market coming down real strong. Now, after a big move, what happens 75% of the time? That's right. Don't just get long right away. Just wait. Whipsaw. When you got a steep dynamic trend, here's that whipsaw coming in. Look at that. Just wait, because once there's a crossover, which occurs right here. Now, look. on this candle, I'm just doing this to show you the measurement. You just put your cursor up on the dynamic trend band number 2 or 1 and then the opposite one. 45.25 quarter, and right here it's 24.50. That's a point and a half, right? So, but this channel wasn't set. There's the buy channel. Now you can just eyeball it and see obviously they're in a point and a half and they're crossing over. Pull back the signal line. Right here's your first one. Boom, up they go. You got 3 points before you can blink an eye. Yeah, I know they ran up, but we don't care. You get 10 contracts on there and you get a 3-point gain like our friend who just emailed me. Does he care where it goes? Oh, I should have held for more. Who cares? You just at 10 contracts you're trading at $200 a point. He just made $600. He's thinking about the $600 he made. That's all. He's waiting for the next setup. He doesn't care where they go after that because I taught him that. That's why he doesn't care. There's a classic tight spread that's occurring point and a half or less on the new buy channel. It's got to be a buy channel because we're watching for a cross up of the DTBs, not a sell channel. Anyway, the idea then is that on the first pullback signal line, what's happened? Well, they've crossed over. You're long. Maybe they would have matched color, but you're already long. Let's see what happened up here. Okay, here they're getting ready to cross. They're not matching, and they're a point and a half. This is good. This is a good classic example. I'm glad you asked that question, Dan. Thank you very much. Look at this. 50, 49.50. See that? When I put my cursor up and look to the right, 50 quarters the price, and I look here, it's 49 quarter. That's a 1-point spread. That means the new channels, I'm take the next pull back the signal line. Now on this candle, the spread was 50 quarter, 49 quarter. You could have taken this pullback right here to the signal line because the spread's tight enough. That's why I have that rule. It used to be wait for the crossover, but too many times the sell channel, like in this case, will open up, it's ready to blow. The Cobra is crossed over the dynamic trend band number 2. This thing's ready to blow to the downside. So once they get in a point and a half, that's tight enough. You can just usually eyeball it, but you just throw your cursor up there and quickly measure it. Go boom. Then you get short. There they go. Got hammered. Look at that. Got roasted on the downside, which set up this second trade, but after the whipsaw. Let me just go over one more question, and always feel free to email me anytime with questions that you may have. I assume the course has the Cobra and dynamic trend bands. You mean, yeah, the Boomerang download. Yes, correct, William. If you buy that after the webinar here, I'll email you a download that'll have all the Boomerang indicators. Then I'll send you a separate download with a free gift of the what I call Hyper Scalp. Boomerang has the dynamic trend bands, all the indicators shown here, and then I'm going to send you a free gift, which I don't always do, but I'll do it because we're having this special webinar, live webinar. I'll give you a free Hyper Scalp, which is an additional indicator to add down here. It adds even more precision to reading into the price movements. It's not part of the system. All the system is what I'm showing you, this real simple thing with the DTBs, dynamic trend bands. But Hyper Scalp is wonderful, and you can use it in other ways as well. Once, Dan's asking again, once crossed over, wait for the channel. The first thing you do, it's a very simple sequence. You don't really do anything until you see a new buy channel on the side of where the dynamic trend bands are crossing. Nothing happens until you see a buy channel. But as you're getting close to that, you're obviously anticipating that's going to occur. So you're watching the dynamic trend bands, and you can see right here they're within a point and a half. So that tells you in advance, you can say, well, they're a point and a half now. If I get a new buy channel and they continue to cross, I'm going to, or squish together here, I'm going to buy the first pullback to sig line, which is right here. This is the correct trade right here. You could have still got in here and here and made money, but the correct trade was right here because they were already within a point and a half and they're ready to cross over. They crossed over after this candle completed and pulled back here. So it's just an additional measure. A crossover, point and a half squished together or an exact crossover, which occurred right here, or if they're matching colors, then you can take the trade. And all that's explained on that videos that I showed you. Just go to the resource section of their blog and watch that video. It's really short. The two trade setups explains it in detail, and I did it real short and real concise. Sometimes I talk a little fast on the webinars trying to get everything out so everybody can get the understanding of how it works. And it's exciting. You're going to start a career here with Boomerang Day Trade. Again, watch the videos, William, and it'll explain exactly. I've already explained it, but there's nothing confusing. This is dynamic trend band number 1. This is dynamic trend band number 2, which is the solid one. That's it. This is the Cobra up here, and this is the trade signal line. The trade signal line is the most sensitive, and it colors the candles. You see how when it changes to gray, the candle changes gray. When it changes to red, the candle's red. Red, red. Then when the dynamic or the signal line changes to green, the candle changes to green. I designed that as the core part of the Boomerang system, the trade signal line, and then we traded pullbacks to the signal line in relation to the dynamic trend bands. And the Cobra is just sort of a front-running indicator to tell us in advance, like here. The market's getting choppy after a big downside move. The Cobra is crossed over here. It's not part of the rules. It just, I'm very precision trader, so you want really highly accurate equipment to trade correctly. So I see the Cobra's crossing over. That tells me support's going to probably come in, especially when it changes green here. You can see it crossed over. Support came in, changed green here. Now that's telling me advance. Okay. See, notice how the Cobra changed the green before the dynamic trend band number 1 and certainly number 2. So it's just an additional tool. That's all there is. It's just those 4. Now you know. That's all there is to it. And it's just learning how to watch for a trade channel, which is marked by this arrow. And then it's shaded here on the buy side. And on the sell side, it's same thing, marked with an arrow. And then it shades the channel. Now notice how when it trades right to the top of that shaded channel, they back right off again. Very accurate system. Something that I developed and then traded for 5 years with before I released it to the public. Ask any trader that's trying to sell you a system out there, how long have you traded personally with this system? Well, they're going to lie anyway, but none of them have traded more than 6 months with it, most likely. The ones I've talked to. Hey, I've done my homework. 10 years of looking at every book, every system, everything out there that I thought was valuable. And that's why I developed Boomerang, because I really, really, really couldn't find anything that I thought was good enough for what I wanted to do. So anyway, I wanted to thank you very much for joining with us today. And William, if you have more questions, just email me as soon as we're done here. I'm going to be running out for a short while, but if you want to buy Boomerang, just go ahead to the blog here. You're going to love it. I'm going to get you making $200,000 a year. I'll do everything I can to help you do that. Just go over to the Boomerang blog at boomerangtrader.com, and over on the right side of the bar side here, where is it? Purchase Boomerang Day Trader. That'll bring up a page. You can click buy here, and then if you scroll down, scroll up, it takes you right to where you just purchase it there. But if you want to see the recap of everything, it's right here. It's not much. It's everything we've talked about and everything it includes. But that's how you purchase Boomerang Day Trader. And I really want to thank you for that. Like I said, I could charge 5 times the amount, but I don't. I like helping traders. Everybody knows that who knows me, and I've been in the industry 16 years, so I got a great reputation. Thank God for that, because there's not a lot of us out here that have that, so I'm really grateful to have that. I wanted to thank you for joining with us today. I've recorded this, so you're going to have a full recording back up on the blog tonight. Late tonight, I'll put this up there. You can watch the whole thing again, or speed it forward, or watch it in parts, watch those live trades, anything you want. And if you have any questions at all, always feel free to email me at Mohan@DayTradersAction. There it is. Mohan@DayTradersAction, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I work round the clock. Yes, I'm a trading fanatic, but I'm very excited. I've been doing this for 26 years, live trading. I love it, and I hope you'll buy Boomerang and join the winners in trading. And thanks again very much, Steve. Great to see you. Thank you again, William. Always good to see you. And if you're trying to decide on what you just say there, uh, better if you're planning on going the long haul, it'll be a lot less expensive for you if you just purchase Boomerang using Ninja Trader. Use Ninja Trader and one price, and then you got it forever. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a lifetime license. Anyway, so thanks again so much for joining with us, and have a good rest of the afternoon.